As it stands, JaNa's moving forward with the support of her Love Island sisters and a whole internet rooting for her. Kenny? Well, let's just say his silence is getting louder by the day.
Oh my God. You guys, what just happened is going to completely obliterate everything you thought you knew about this Love Island breakup. JaNa's best friend just dropped the most explosive evidence yet, and when I tell you what she revealed Kenny was supposedly saying behind closed doors, your jaw is going to hit the floor. So you know how we've all been trying to piece together what really went down? Well, JaNa's friend Charmaine Smith just gave us the exact roadmap to Kenny's supposed deception, and it's more calculated and disgusting than anyone could have imagined. Because apparently what we thought was Love Island love? Oh, honey. Sources suggest it was actually a carefully orchestrated financial scheme disguised as romance. We're talking about specific search terms that Charmaine says women should look for on their partner's phones. Terms like, I don't like black women, I thought I would get more money from this, and I'm faking this relationship. And that's just the beginning of what Kenny was supposedly typing while laying next to JaNa every night. So buckle up, because we're about to dive into what may be the most calculated betrayal in reality TV history. And the receipts, they're more devastating than anything we could have imagined.
Let's start with the bombshell that just exploded across social media. JaNa's close friend, Charmaine Smith, posted what may be the most damning evidence we've seen yet. Before quickly deleting her post and going private, Charmaine dropped specific search terms that she claims women should look for on their partner's phones. And these terms paint a picture of Kenny that's absolutely chilling. According to Charmaine's now deleted Instagram story, she advised followers to search for keywords like, I don't like black women, I thought I would get more money from this, I'm faking this relationship, going on the show would be for clout, I can't wait to be done with this so I can f*** hella bitches. When someone's best friend is telling the world to check their phones for those specific terms, that suggests she knows exactly what was found on Kenny's device. But here's what makes this particularly devastating though. These aren't generic breakup accusations, these are incredibly specific search terms that suggest Charmaine either saw the actual messages or was told exactly what to look for. The fact that she felt compelled to warn other women using Kenny's exact supposed language suggests the evidence was undeniable. Now, here's what's really interesting about Charmaine's approach. She positioned this as advice for women in relationships, essentially using Kenny's situation as a cautionary tale about what to watch out for. That level of public service announcement suggests she believes Kenny's behavior represents a pattern that other women need to be protected from.
The specific language that Charmaine shared paints a picture of someone who is never genuinely invested in their relationship. I thought I would get more money from this suggests Kenny viewed JaNa as a business opportunity rather than a romantic partner, which explains why their brand partnerships and collaborative content felt so authentic, because JaNa was being genuine while Kenny was reportedly performing for profit. But here's where it gets absolutely sickening though. I don't like black women, combined with I'm faking this relationship, suggests that Kenny was not only deceiving JaNa about his feelings, but was actively harboring racial prejudice while sharing intimate moments with her. The psychological compartmentalization required to maintain that level of deception would be genuinely disturbing. Here's what's particularly calculated about the supposed language Charmaine revealed. Going on the show would be for clout suggests that Kenny's entire Love Island experience was strategic rather than genuine. He wasn't looking for love, he was reportedly building a platform that he could later monetize through his relationship with JaNa. Get this though, I can't wait to be done with this so I can hella bitches, reveals what Kenny's alleged endgame was. While JaNa was planning anniversaries and discussing their future, Kenny was supposedly counting down the days until he could pursue other people. That level of future planning while maintaining a facade shows incredible callousness. After JaNa's devastating initial statement about the relationship not being, quote, genuine since day one, Kenny released what can only be described as the most tone-deaf response in reality TV history. Instead of addressing JaNa's specific allegations about authenticity and deception, Kenny framed their breakup as a natural incompatibility issue. Kenny wrote about coming to, quote, the hard truth that the relationship was not something that could last long term, completely ignoring JaNa's claims about discovering his true character. When someone accuses you of fundamental dishonesty and you respond with generic breakup language, That's essentially confirmation that you can't defend your actual behavior.
Fans then noticed that multiple castmates also unfollowed Kenny, putting the speculation at an all-time high. And while the exes haven't shared what really happened at the party, co-star Serena Page is reminding fans to be respectful as the drama plays out in the public eye. Writing to her Instagram story, "Let's all remember this is not a show and someone's actual feelings. It may just be tea for y'all, but that's not the case for us."
But here's where Kenny really stepped in it though. His statement about releasing, quote, "this chapter with no ill will" and hoping for JaNa's happiness read like a PR statement rather than a genuine response to someone who just accused you of year-long deception. That level of corporate speak, when your ex is calling you a liar, shows incredible arrogance. The response was so tone-deaf that JaNa immediately fired back with "STFU, you manipulative liar," escalating from spiritual grace to pure rage in record time. When someone who started with "as a child of God, I will always be okay" is telling you to shut up, that means your response was spectacularly offensive.
What makes Charmaine's revelations even more credible is how they align perfectly with the cast's immediate response to Kenny. When Leah called Kenny racist, money-hungry, and a scammer since day one, she was corroborating exactly what Charmaine's search terms suggested: that Kenny's behavior involved racial prejudice and financial motivation. The fact that Ariana Madix, the actual host of Love Island, unfollowed Kenny tells you everything about how seriously these allegations are being taken. Show hosts don't typically get involved in cast drama unless the behavior is so problematic that it affects the entire brand. When the face of the franchise distances herself from someone, that's not about relationship drama. That's about character issues. But here's what's really telling about the industry response, though. Sources confirm that nearly every Season 6 cast member unfollowed Kenny immediately, creating what Reality Tea called Love Island's own scandal. When an entire cast coordinated to distance themselves from someone, that suggests they were all shown evidence that made neutrality impossible. Even beyond the Villa cast members who weren't particularly close to JaNa, made public statements supporting her. When people risk their own brand partnerships to take sides in someone else's relationship drama, that indicates the evidence was so damning that staying silent would have been morally impossible. Looking back at Kenny's behavior through the lens of Charmaine's revelations, everything that seemed like relationship challenges now reads as exit strategy. His reluctance to move in together, his insistence on separate apartments, his comments about missing his Dallas life, none of that was about taking things slow or maintaining healthy boundaries. According to what Charmaine suggests Kenny was really thinking, those were all steps in a calculated plan to extract maximum value from the relationship while preparing his escape route. "I can't wait to be done with this" recontextualizes every moment where Kenny seemed emotionally distant or checked out during Beyond the Villa. But here's what's particularly cruel about this timeline, though. While JaNa was genuinely working on their communication and relationship growth, Kenny was reportedly texting about his plans to be with other women. Every anniversary conversation, every future planning session, every intimate moment was happening while Kenny supposedly harbored these feelings. The David Dobrik party timeline becomes even more devastating when you consider that JaNa probably discovered messages that proved Kenny had been living a complete lie for their entire relationship. Going from romantic dancing to relationship destruction makes perfect sense when you realize she wasn't just discovering recent betrayal. She was discovering that their entire relationship had been fraudulent. What Charmaine's revelations suggest about Kenny's financial motivations casts their entire brand partnership history in a different light. Every collaboration they did together, every piece of couple content, every brand deal was being generated by someone who reportedly viewed JaNa as a business opportunity rather than a genuine partner. "I thought I would get more money from this" suggests Kenny was calculating the financial benefits of their relationship while privately expressing racial prejudice about his partner. Companies were paying for authentic couple chemistry and genuine love, but according to these allegations, they were getting elaborate performance art funded by deception. But here's what makes this particularly insidious, though. Kenny wasn't just benefiting from their collaborative content, he was building his individual brand on the foundation of being JaNa's loving, supportive partner. His partnerships with Dove, Cetaphil, Trojan, and Uniqlo were all enhanced by his image as someone in a successful interracial relationship. The fact that Kenny was reportedly planning to end the relationship while continuing to profit from it suggests a level of calculated exploitation that goes beyond typical relationship betrayal. He was essentially using JaNa's genuine feelings and their audience's investment in their love story to generate income while privately counting down the days until he could pursue other people.
What makes Charmaine's revelations about Kenny's supposed language particularly disturbing is the racial element. I don't like black women, while being in an intimate relationship with a black woman suggests a level of psychological compartmentalization that's genuinely concerning from a mental health perspective. The idea that someone could share a bed with JaNa, meet her family, plan anniversaries, and discuss their future while harboring racial prejudice about her identity is psychologically disturbing. That level of cognitive dissonance suggests serious issues with empathy and basic human decency. But here's what makes this particularly calculated, though. If Kenny really felt this way about black women, his decision to pursue JaNa on Love Island becomes strategic rather than romantic. The show's audience loves successful interracial relationships, so positioning himself as the loving white partner to a successful black woman would have been incredibly valuable for his brand. The fact that Leah and Serena immediately called Kenny racist suggests that JaNa shared specific evidence with her friends that proved this wasn't just general relationship deception. This was racially motivated exploitation disguised as Love Island love.
Going on the show would be for clout recontextualizes Kenny's entire Love Island experience as strategic rather than genuine. He wasn't looking for love. He was reportedly building a platform that he could later monetize through brand partnerships and social media influence. This explains why Kenny was so good at the romantic gestures and public declarations of love, because according to Charmaine's revelations, he was performing for an audience rather than expressing genuine feelings. Every tears during Casa Amor, every emotional conversation, every moment that made viewers fall in love with their relationship was potentially calculated content creation. But here's what's particularly manipulative about this approach, though. Kenny apparently understood that Love Island fans invest emotionally in couples who appear genuine and authentic. By targeting JaNa specifically and maintaining the facade for over a year, he was reportedly extracting value not just from her genuine feelings, but from their audience's emotional investment in their relationship. The longevity of the deception shows incredible patience and planning. Most people who fake relationships for clout can't maintain the facade long term. But Kenny reportedly sustained this for over a year while building a substantial social media following and securing multiple brand partnerships. Watching Beyond the Villa with the knowledge of what Charmaine revealed makes every episode absolutely heartbreaking. JaNa, working to understand Kenny's needs, trying to improve their communication, planning their future together, all of it was happening while Kenny supposedly harbored these feelings about her race and their relationship. Every conversation about living arrangements takes on a sinister tone when you realize that Kenny's reluctance wasn't about healthy boundaries. It was reportedly about maintaining the flexibility to pursue other people while keeping JaNa as his public girlfriend for brand purposes. But here's what's particularly cruel about the Beyond the Villa timeline, though. JaNa was being filmed trying to build authentic intimacy with someone who was reportedly texting about his plans to be with hella bitches once their relationship ended. That level of deception, while being documented for posterity, is genuinely sociopathic. The show's focus on their relationship challenges becomes tragic when you realize that JaNa was trying to solve problems in a relationship that was reportedly never genuine from Kenny's perspective. She was working to build something real with someone who was apparently just counting down the days until he could end the charade.
The fact that Charmaine posted such specific and damning information before quickly deleting it and going private suggests she was torn between protecting her friend and avoiding potential legal issues. Those search terms were so specific that they could only have come from direct knowledge of what was found on Kenny's phone. But here's what's really interesting about her approach, though. By framing it as general advice for women in relationships rather than specific accusations against Kenny, Charmaine found a way to warn other women while technically avoiding direct defamation. That's actually brilliant legal strategy disguised as relationship advice. The fact that she went private after posting suggests that someone, possibly lawyers, advised her that even indirect accusations could have legal consequences. But the damage was already done because multiple outlets captured screenshots before the deletion. Get this though, Charmaine's decision to speak out at all suggests that what she saw was so disturbing that staying silent would have been impossible. Best friends don't usually risk legal issues and public attention unless they believe the evidence needs to be exposed for the protection of others.
According to Reality T, Kenny eventually deleted his tone-deaf statement after the coordinated response from his castmates made it clear that his attempt at damage control had backfired spectacularly. When someone deletes their public statement about a breakup, that suggests they realized their approach was making things worse rather than better. The fact that this story has been called Love Island's Scandival shows how unprecedented this level of cast coordination against one person really is. Even during major reality TV controversies, you usually see some people defending the accused person. But Kenny appears to have zero support from anyone who knows him personally. But here's what's really telling about the ongoing social media response, though. Multiple outlets are continuing to report on this story because new information keeps emerging. Unlike typical reality TV breakups that fade from the news cycle quickly, this story has staying power because the allegations are so serious and well documented. The fact that major outlets like TMZ, E! News, and Reality T are all covering this extensively suggests that industry professionals believe these allegations have credibility. When major media outlets invest resources in covering reality TV drama, that indicates they believe the story has broader cultural significance beyond just entertainment gossip.
What Charmaine's revelations suggest about Kenny's behavior represents a new level of calculated deception in reality TV relationships. If these allegations are accurate, Kenny didn't just fake a relationship for clout. He reportedly maintained racial prejudice while extracting financial benefit from an intimate relationship with a black woman. The sophistication of the supposed scheme, targeting someone on a reality show, maintaining the facade for over a year, building a brand on the relationship, then planning an exit strategy, suggests this wasn't impulsive bad behavior, but calculated exploitation that could have legal implications. But here's what's really important about this story, though. JaNa's decision to expose Kenny's supposed behavior, combined with her friend's willingness to share specific evidence, creates accountability that goes beyond typical celebrity drama. This is about protecting other women from someone who may represent a pattern of exploitative behavior.
The fact that the entire Love Island industry, from cast members to hosts to the network itself, immediately distanced themselves from Kenny suggests that his alleged behavior was so problematic that association became impossible. That level of professional consequences for personal behavior shows how seriously these allegations are being taken. The lasting impact of the situation extends beyond just JaNa and Kenny's relationship. It's sparked conversations about authenticity in reality TV relationships, the exploitation of emotional labor, and the intersection of racism and financial manipulation that will continue long after this news cycle ends. Spilling the tea, one drop at a time. Because when someone's best friend gives you the exact search terms to find evidence of deception, racism, and financial exploitation, that's not just relationship drama. That's a masterclass in how to expose someone who thought they were too clever to get caught.